All right, let's get started.
Yes, we are started and we are live right now. And
Ah.
how is everybody doing? We hopefully hope that you guys are doing good. How are you doing actually on your side, my beautiful young host, Gypsy Lady Eva?
Oh, bless you, you dear sweet man. I am doing fine.
Yes. Are you counting
I'm
the.
I hunker I've hunkered down because we got lots of wind here.
Yes. Yeah, you were saying
But when I
before.
stop talking, there's no wind. So
Well, you were saying before we went live, though, of how strong the winds were.
yeah, the electricity kept flickering on and off. Not enough to do anything with the generator, but enough to make your life miserable.
Yes. Yeah. And for me, though, things are doing quite fine. Trying to get ready, waiting for still inheritance money to come through, and just planning our vacation right when we're going to be heading actually out of the province I live in, heading to a new province, actually for a holiday. But with that storm, though, that I went through, yeah, it was really strong. I'm 12 floors up. I know that you're actually on ground floor, pretty much. But with the 12 floors, you could actually hear the winds over right where I am. And I'm at where our balcony faces in between another apartment building, so there's a wind tunnel going between us.
Ah,
It's like so. But yes, we'll be right back after this quick commercial break, and we're going to be doing those, talking about 9 strange signs your third eye is open. Hey everyone, check out our merchandise that we have now listed underneath HauntingLivePodcast.com. We used to be on Etsy, but we found a little bit of troubles with that, so we are now on HauntingLivePodcast.com with our merch store. Check it out. We've got so much items all together with cleansing items and crystals and so much more. Check us out, HauntingLivePodcast.com. Hey everyone, it's Brother Chris here from Divine Oracle Podcast. Join me Mondays as I do readings and I post them right here in the Podbeam. It's easy, it's good lighting, and it's your weekly readings. So join me, will you?
Follow us here at Haunting Live, and we are honored to have a brand new co-host on our shows now. Yolanta Mary introduces people to the show and discusses different topics on the show. So we're really happy to have her here this season. So go check out our brand new episodes.
All right, so we're back now actually from that quick commercial break. Now, Gypsy Lady Eva, have you experienced times though that your third eye is open but you don't realize it, but you start getting those weird headaches or unbalanced by any chance?
well, I've been unbalanced for years, so that doesn't count. But it's kind of strange because I thought about that and I had to chuckle because my migraines stopped when my third eye, about the same time that my third eye opened.
Okay.
Think about that.
That there for some people is unusual, but go ahead.
Well, I never claimed to be the usual individual anyway, but that's beside the point.
Yes. Yeah. That's like God. So.
But yeah, I find that interesting. But I never had the real headaches, but I have had other experiences, and I still experience it. So either it's still opening or it's like, gotcha.
Yeah, so I know sometimes. I know.
What about you?
Well, with myself though, there has been times I've been actually at people's location for Christmas gathering, and at times so as I do know so that I'm feeling unbalanced. Right, I think it's my crown chakra, but it's actually my third eye. That is wide open, right, and I don't suspect it to be open, but it opens by itself. I know sometimes actually us as spiritual mediums, so we can open up our third eye or close it, but sometimes so we it's open without us really knowing. But today we're gonna today what we're gonna do is we're gonna take actually a good look actually at 9 strange signs your third eye is open. All right. Can you sort of start off with can you activate the third eye?
Oh, I think you can. Yes, I agree with them. The notes. there's many different, I shouldn't say many, but there are different techniques to do it. Can I tell you one? It's not on there, but I was told this was done. I'm not even sure where, but to open up your third eye, and I think it was like in like Buddha country, Buddhism, the India type area. They would actually drill a small hole into your forehead, right where the third eye would be.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's a little drastic.
Yeah.
For me. But if you don't want to do that, there are other things you can do.
That will be more preventive. That will help you a little bit better. So yes.
Yeah, they say it helps, so we go from there. I'm not sure. It does, but the thing is, it doesn't happen overnight, even if you do the drilling.
Yeah.
And it does take time, and sometimes it takes a little longer than everybody else, but that's okay. And I don't know. Where do you want to start? I mean, there's just so many different ways. Part of it can be meditation. Part of it can be just visualizing the third eye to open. Like I say, there's many different ways to do this. And besides drilling the hole.
We don't want to do that.
The first time I heard that, I just like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I did it through meditation. I had some very excellent teachers who helped me through it, and when it did open, it was like, whoo, ha, woo, all kinds of stuff.
You do get to experience a lot more things, and again, those usually with our two eyes, not with our third eye, but with our two eyes, though, we see certain things. We see 3-dimension, but with our third eye, we see a larger picture that our two eyes of 3-dimension cannot see. One great example though is pressure between your third eye, and now your third eye is one of the chakras though that's actually located within inside of you. Again, don't forget we have 7 chakras altogether, but what we're going to be doing is talking about the third eye chakra, and that there is usually for most people it's just above the eyebrow location. Some people have it in between, but it's right in that little area. And with this, though, you do actually feel a lot more pressure between your eyebrows. Generally, the senses do not stay between your third eye, which is what I was just explaining about. But it basically focuses more with the general spiritual side. There's so much though that you can actually see with your third eye. I'm going to throw this back over to you. What else can you say about this though? About the pressure between the third eye.
Well, like I said, I did not ever experience that, but I do know that I have had sensations where the third eye is, and in my case, it's if you were to look where the top of my eyebrows are, that's more where my third eye is, not directly between it where a lot of people have experienced it.
Yeah.
And there are times when I rub it because I don't know why, but I will rub it and I can feel the sensation.
Yeah.
In a very more, how can I describe it? It's a more intense feeling.
Okay. All right. So that brings us down to number 2. Do we want to talk about number 2? I'll give this to you.
When you close your eyes, you still perceive the light. And this is not, I know I've told that to different people throughout my experiences. And yes, when you close your eyes, if there's a light in the room, you can kind of see it through, or you're outside, you can see. But this is a little more intense because you can see lights, you can see color, you can see movement, and this is all through your third eye. And the experience can occur in the middle of a meditation session when the focus is on the third eye. And when you experience this, it's like, woohoo, yes, I'm there. And you just savor that moment. And to help you enjoy that moment, try holding on to the lightest, brightest light that you know to transcend yourself and further open the chakra, the third eye chakra. You will feel a lightness in yourself, like almost like you're floating. And this is a normal, positive, and light invade you. And it's both physically and spiritually. Okay?
Yeah.
You want to take number 3?
Yeah, so number 3, this is to actually you're basically, though, that you're thinking more deeply about what might be coming through. You see yourself actually and your life, but most times, though, that the images are sometimes a little bit fuzzy with yourself. But the thing, though, is try to focus actually on those pictures altogether. The reason why is because the pictures do come a little bit more clear. The more, though, that you actually open up your third eye, the better option, though, that you actually have by seeing the picture, or even seeing images altogether that's going right around you. It says that this change actually will frequently happen to you. The more, though, that you actually practice actually with your third eye. And I love the example, though, that I gave at the beginning, though, is have you ever used your third eye and not realizing, though, that you're really using it? Now, sometimes, though, the third eye, even if we're in a car or if we're at work, though, our third eye can be open and we see a little bit larger within the picture than anything else. And the spirits are coming to us. Same with also the answers are coming to us. But it's coming, what most of us think, that are not in tune with the spiritual side, it's our thoughts. But are we sure it's the thoughts, or is it the third eye that's opening? And this brings us down to number 4.
Okay, number 4. You see things differently, more colorful, more alive, and more holistic. The third eye does change your senses, and you see with more feeling, but not with reason. You don't really understand. Sometimes you don't understand what's going on, but it's a good feeling, so you don't really care. And you see colors more clearly, more vibrantly, and they can trigger emotions in you that they are alive. They're not just sitting there. You can smell much stronger. And that doesn't sound right, does it? You smell much stronger.
well, I'm sorry, I forgot to put the deodorant on. Is that what you smell?
Woohoo! What it means is you have a better sense of smell. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And you can distinguish some of the nuances of smell. I have to say I was doing great with that until I went to see the white buffalo. And it was all of a sudden, I wasn't experienced. No, let me rephrase that. I was not experienced until I went to see the white buffalo, and I was just kind of sitting there meditating with this huge white bison standing in front of me. And it's like all of a sudden everything just opened up and I could smell everything. And it was kind of funny because all of a sudden I realized I could smell both the new poop and the old dried poop.
Yeah.
And I could tell the difference. So there's an example of what it means that you can have a better sense of smell and the nuance, and you can take those nuances of smell and you can feel things more, and your hearing is more sensitive. And I have not experienced that too much, but boy, when it kicks in, you know it. You hear things that you never heard before. And I'm talking these small sounds, like the sound of the mouse running through the walls. You don't normally hear that, but I can hear that. And you can feel like you're smelling, hearing, feeling things that most people don't even realize that are out there, like I said, the mouse running through. And it can almost get to be a psychotic experience, but you don't step over that line, so that's a good thing. And that means your third eye is indeed open. the way they put it on there, I would have said said it a little different. Your senses are suddenly alive.
Yes, that's the best way to put it.
They're there.
Yeah.
I think that's a better way to put it because, excuse me, up until then, yeah, you see things one way and you think that's okay, that's normal. And then all of a sudden, it's like it's like looking at a flat picture and then all of a sudden seeing it in 3D.
Yeah.
Is another way to put it. So you go to the next one.
All right. So the next one, though, is headaches can occur when your third eye is open. Now, it's not saying, no, it's always going to occur, but it can occur. And they say, though, that the third eye is actually the door to the soul, which is so true. Whenever you're judging actually somebody, which is what we always do, though, is we look at somebody and we judge them without getting to know them. And that's basically our third eye, though, is actually being able to judge actually their soul, not their being, but their soul. And it also says, so that basically, though, is you may feel a slight headache when it is open, which is so true, though. Have you ever experienced anything, though, that whenever you're actually looking at somebody or looking at actually a plant, a great example is a plant, or even a pet, have you actually ever experienced a headache? I know I have. But they say also, though, that you usually feel this is a temporary solution, which is so true. This is a positive thing for movement for you. And it's good, though. The reason why is because, again, though, is we're not all experiencing headaches whenever our third eye is open, but our third eye can sense a little bit more. One great example, though, is at the house parties I used to go to, just going over to see friends. I was never drinking at this time, because the spiritual medium, though, it's not good to actually drink and deal with the spiritual stuff at the same time. But going over to friends' places, all of a sudden I would leave and I would say to my partner, can you put your hand actually on my crown chakra? Again, those, like I said earlier, I thought it was my crown chakra, but it's my third eye, because my third eye was actually feeling off balance. So learning actually more about these chakras and with third eye strongly, you get to know exactly how to work with them. And this brings us down to our next one.
Your experience of dreams and meditations become more vivid. And that is, I can't say that loudly enough, but yes, when your third eye is awakened, your mind becomes more expansive and less tied to your ego and identification with your thoughts. You seem to be able to connect more closely with the divine, call it what you will. And because you have that connection, it's like all of a sudden there's more to see, more to experience. And when you start doing that, you find your dreams become far more vivid. And believe me, it does happen. It happened to me. And the other thing with that is, before when I dreamt, keep that straight.
Right when you dreamed.
When I had dreams, how about that?
Yes, that's good.
When I had dreams, before this, I would be like a spectator. I'd be like at a movie. After my third eye opened, I began to participate in my dreams, or I was more in my dreams. And that's another part of it where they become more vivid because they become more real. And you begin to increase this also in your meditations, and you begin to in your meditations you begin to I don't know how to explain this, but you expand your ability to meditate and move outward. It's almost like an out-of-body experience, but it's greater than that, because you're connecting like with another whole realm of existence. And the one thing is with the dreams is you begin to experience lucid dreaming, which was what I was explaining before. You become a part of that dream, and it becomes very vivid and very real. And believe me, you have all your senses in dreams, which normally you don't have all your senses. You don't have a sense of smell when you in normal dreaming, and I have had experienced the sense of smell in my dreamings. In my dreams. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. It's a tongue twister.
Blah, 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 blah. And with this sort of thing, when you do your meditations, you also have a stronger and more able ability to heal yourself and to find the solutions to life, not only in your meditations, but in your dreams also. So I never had that experience, but when I did meditate, I would experience this. I could see how the puzzle pieces fit together. That's the only way I can explain it, because that's how it kind of came to me. It's like all the puzzles like click, 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 click right into place.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
Yeah.
And so you're going to get the next one.
I was going to throw that one. I was going to actually throw that one back to you, because I'll do the one afterwards.
Well, all right. The next one is your intuition is sharper, and believe me, that really starts to kick in, and it's like walking into a room and knowing who all the bad people are.
Yeah.
That's how I always explain it.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off, and it's good though. Basically though, can I give an example?
Sure.
Okay, right. It's basically though, say if you're going to go into a large room of people, right, and you got good people and bad people in there. Before you go into the room, though, you're going to actually ask for your third eye to be open. So your third eye is open, and right when you go into the room, you can sense exactly of who the positive people are and who the negative people are.
I like that better, positive and negative.
So, right, and
but getting back to the intuition part of it, not only that, but it's like, well, like the clairvoyance aspect of it. All of a sudden, you're able to do things or see things that you never saw before, or know things that are going to happen, like you haven't been able to before. Clairaudience, you hear things speaking to you. Angels speaking to you, and not to be confused with voices like in some of those weird
scary movies.
Yes. Where you hear voices. Can I tell you a little story?
I'd love to hear it.
I was at the doctor's office, and it was a new doctor that I was going to, and I had to answer all these questions, and she came in and she said, I have to do this as part of our. And she's going through the list, and I'm yes, no, yeah. She says, "Do you hear voices?" How do I answer that question? And she's looking at me, and she goes, "What's wrong?" And I says, "Well, I don't normally tell this to people, but I am a psychic." "Oh, okay, so you do hear voices, but not those kind of voices." Well, at least she understood.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying is, yes, you do hear voices, but they're not those kind of voices.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting because there's been times when I've went to do something and I was about to enter or go to, or however you want to put it, and I would hear somebody, "Don't do this." And I listened. And anytime I didn't listen, something bad happened. So I learned to listen very carefully.
Is it like that 2x4?
Yes. Yes.
So, yes. All right. Anyways, so our next one that we're going to look at though is you start your healing. Once you basically actually start working with your chakras. And again, we're focusing actually on the third eye chakra, but not all the chakras. You start healing yourself, which is so good. The reason why is because we all need healing. It doesn't matter if you are more spiritual or not more spiritual, if you're a beginner or not a beginner. once we start working with our third eye, you start healing with yourself a lot better. More information is going to be coming to you within that third eye. And we look at the third eye altogether, and there's going to be a lot more elements, actually, of words being... Not really elements, but there's a lot more, actually, stuff given to us. We start looking, actually, at ourselves. And not actually... looking actually at ourselves as three-dimension, but we start looking at ourselves within this more spiritual way. And with this, though, a great example, though, is when I was in the hospital a couple weeks ago with major sharp pains. All right. And before I actually saw the doctor, I started looking actually at myself with my third eye. And what had happened, though, is I went through everything. Why I had the pain on my side, and what could be done, and what all together took place for this pain to get there. Even though I went and saw the doctor, yeah, but still the information, though, that actually that I had was more knowledge, because I was healing myself. Right? It's good to see a doctor, though. Don't get me wrong. It's good to see doctors to actually get their opinion, because they're more trained within the medical way. But spiritually, you have to start with more with yourself within the spiritual way, by healing yourself altogether. So, anything else? You're just smiling there.
No, I just thinking, yes, that is a good way to put it. Very well said.
And that comes down to our last and final one before we close off this episode. So,
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I can't believe I did that. Once I clicked on the wrong thing and I had to go back and get it.
Yeah.
Once your third eye is open, you begin to question the meaning of life. I would say it's not that you start questioning it, you begin to understand that there is more to life than what you're experiencing, the meaning of life. And I wanted to say, the meaning of life, well, it's a sweet cereal.
No, it's not life cereal.
Oh, okay.
And Mikey doesn't like it all.
Well, you know me, I've got a song for everything, and yes. I usually have a smart aleck remark. But the thing is, when you start looking at life, when I think of this one with the meaning of life, I think about, we had a young woman come in to kind of help us around the house. She was 18 and she's now 19. And she's like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I just don't know what life is all about. It's just, and I'm going like, sweetheart, you've got a long way to go.
Yeah.
And when you think about young people and how they question it, but they don't really understand it. And when you open that third eye, it's like, oh. You begin to understand that there's more to this than just getting up every day and doing whatever you have to do and then going to bed at night. And you want to, what will remain of me when I'm gone, when I, and you always and then you suddenly realize that it doesn't matter, because when you leave this life, you begin a new adventure, and it's in a whole different realm. And no matter which way we go and how life leaves us, our essential selves, our bodies are utilized by nature no matter what we do, but our souls continue on.
Yeah.
And so what do we do with our body and our energy during lifetime? Does it really matter? As long as you don't hurt anyone, as long as you're willing to help your neighbor, as long as you're willing to take that extra step for whatever reason, that's what it's all about. And you can help people by listening to them, encouraging them, and supportive. Maybe that's not your thing. Well, how about other things that you can? How about people who do artwork? It's not for them, it's for other people so that they can enjoy the same beauty that other people see around it. And when you open that third eye, you can put so much more into that painting or drawing or whatever it is that you're doing. And you begin to recognize the fake friends around you and the people who just want to use you. Sort of like the president. Yeah. Anyway, there are signs. These are just some of the signs that show that your third eye is open.
Yep. And I love the examples that they have at the beginning those, why am I here? What am I doing here on earth? What will remain of me when there is no more? And those are some of those that you touched, and I love that.
Well, I think all too often we look at, even to people who are not into the paranormal, metaphysical realms, spiritual realms, whatever you care to call it. And even though they don't realize that their third eye is opening or has opened, and it is creating communications with things that are beyond them, and they realize things even though they don't realize it as a spiritual, metaphysical, whatever, and they continue to do good things, and they help, and they are dealing with what is life all about the same way as myself. And sometimes they find it, and sometimes they don't.
And that's dealing with your third eye. So, yes. Just to let you guys know, for our next show, as long as Eva has power, as long as Trump doesn't cut off anything for Canada to cut off actually power to the States, our next show that we're going to be looking at, though, is the spiritual meaning of dreams. Now, a lot of us, though, we've actually had dreams, though, and some of them come true, some of them don't, but still, there's always spiritual meanings actually within inside of them. We're going to look actually...
dreams are fascinating.
Yeah, we're going to look actually...
We're going to bring any of the Freud stuff in?
I'm not too sure if it's... I'm not sure if it's actually part of the footnotes, but if there is, we'll bring that actually in, because what we're going to be doing, those, we're going to be looking actually at 13 powerful... points to do with actually of dreams. So yeah, so it's I was waiting for that for you. So again, those, we do say thanks a lot for this. Do join us back. Again, though, we're doing now 2 shows actually in one, but yes, we do say thanks a lot though. And if you guys have any questions or want to be able to learn more about your chakras within your third eye, right, check out your local library, or actually ask somebody that's also in tune with the spiritual side. We do. And you can go ahead.
I said, and you can always put a note or a question in the comment box, and we'll try and get back with you.
Yeah, we'll love to hear more from you guys. Again,
definitely.
Thanks a lot for tuning in. You guys have a spiritual week, and we will look forward for talking to you guys next week.
And thank you for your time. It is deeply appreciated.